Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to extract some seriously high-value leadership lessons from a completely unexpected, truly inspiring source, the rise of Kailash Katkar and Quick Heal Technologies. You know, we so often look to Silicon Valley for our big business insights, but this was born out of a tiny repair shop in Pune, India, and it offers an absolute masterclass in hustle, adaptability, and scaling a business from literally nothing.
Okay, let's just dive right into this with a quote from the man himself. Kailash Katkar openly admits, and I quote, "I wasn't interested in studies, had no special skills, only a small repair business, but it has turned out well for me." I love this because it perfectly sets up our underdog narrative. This is definitely not your typical well-funded MBA graduate story. It's the story of a founder who built a massive global footprint simply by solving the problems that were right in front of him.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover bootstrapping from the ground up, pivoting to the software boom, creating the Quick Heal product, resilience during critical setbacks, and finally, strategic scaling and global expansion.
Number 1. Bootstrapping from the ground up.
Before all the massive success, Katkar actually started out in a local repair shop back in 1985. He was making just 1,500 rupees a month, basically just to help supplement his family's income. But over those next 5 years, he didn't just fix calculators, he paid attention. He picked up enough accounting skills to actually handle the books for his employer. By 1990, he decided to strike out on his own, leasing this tiny 100-square-foot office with a seed capital of just 15,000 rupees that he scraped together from his own meager savings.
And this perfectly illustrates our first core leadership insight, bootstrapping. Now, funding a business using personal savings without external investment isn't just some financial limitation. It's actually a massive strategic advantage. Why? Because it forces you to deeply understand the books. You have to manage your resources with extreme precision, and you end up learning your trade inside and out. When you're bootstrapped, you literally cannot afford to be disconnected from the day-to-day reality of your operations.
Section 2. Pivoting to the software boom.
So, by the end of his first year, Katkar managed to pull in a decent income of about 45,000 rupees. Not bad, right? But he wasn't satisfied. He saw the software boom coming on the horizon, and he initiated this rapid sequence of upskilling. Between 1991 and 1992, he started devouring books on computer hardware and actually enrolled in these short evening computer management courses to get the basics down. And because the classes were at night, his day business didn't suffer at all. Talk about hustle. By 1993, with those new skills in his toolkit, he launched a totally new venture, Cat Computer Services, focusing entirely on computer maintenance.
Which brings us to the ultimate leadership maneuver, the pivot. Changing the whole direction or focus of a business in response to market demands. It's never easy. But Katkar took a highly calculated risk. He completely shifted focus into a field where he had absolutely zero work experience simply because he saw where the market was heading. As a leader, you've got to have your ear to the ground and the courage to change course before your current model becomes obsolete.
Section 3. Creating the Quick Heal product. Now, generating business in a brand new field with zero prior experience is a massive hurdle. But Katkar tackled this with a totally replicable leadership framework of aggressive, stepped hustle. Step 1. He didn't abandon his old cash flow. He kept his repair business going while aggressively wooing new computer customers. Step 2. He got his first real break by signing just 2 families for annual maintenance contracts, or AMCs, for 2,000 rupees each. And Step 3, armed with that tiny bit of backing experience, he breached the corporate domain, bagging a big AMC for new India insurance. Step by step, he built undeniable momentum.
Through all this maintenance work, Katkar started noticing that his customers kept facing one very specific problem over and over again: computer viruses. Seeing this huge gap in the market, he utilized an incredibly close resource, his younger brother Sanjay, who was studying computer engineering at the time. At Kailash's insistence, Sanjay developed a basic antivirus software model. They called it Quick Heal, and they started selling it for a totally approachable fee of just 700 rupees.
What you really need to take away from this is the profound power of addressing a true market need. They realized there would be plenty of takers for a cheap, simple solution. By pricing it at 700 rupees, making it one of the absolute least expensive options out there, it spread like wildfire. It became a massive hit. As a leader, identifying a specific gap and delivering a simple, accessible solution, that can allow you to violently disrupt an entirely established industry.
Section 4. Resilience during critical setbacks.
So, business growth is almost never a straight line up, right?
Now, at first, the growth here was stellar. In 1993-94, turnover was at 1 lakh rupees, driven by the runaway success of that quick heal software. Just 3 years later, in 1996-97, their turnover had exploded to over 12 lakh rupees.
But then, things get really serious. By 1999, the company hit the abyss. The business was in such bad shape they genuinely considered shutting the whole thing down. They were completely in the red, literally unable to even pay their own staff's salaries. This right here, this is the moment that tests the true mettle of any entrepreneur.
The absolutely crucial point here is resilience. How did they survive? Well, they made a choice to just delay their fatal decision to close down by a couple of months. They put their heads down, and their relentless hard work during that incredibly stressful grace period actually pulled them out of the red. Resilience isn't always about instantly bouncing back. Sometimes it's literally just having the grit to delay defeat long enough for your hard work to shift the tide.
Section 5. Strategic Scaling and Global Expansion.
Surviving that 1999 crisis unlocked the door to explosive exponential expansion. Remember, we started this explainer talking about a 19-year-old kid making 1,500 rupees a month. By 2010, the company secured a staggering 60 crore rupee infusion from the US-based private equity firm Sequoia Capital. That private equity infusion was the exact rocket fuel they needed to push their footprint internationally.
But to attract that kind of capital, you need scalability. Quick Heal didn't just keep selling more of that exact same 700 rupee disc. By 2005-06, they had heavily diversified their product portfolio. They moved way beyond simple antivirus solutions, expanding to cover the entire gamut, from security and tuner solutions to mobile security and gateway-level protection. True scalability requires evolving your product to meet complex, ever-growing demands.
I mean, just look at this contrast. This journey is the ultimate masterclass in business growth. They went from a one-man venture in a tiny 100-square-foot office to employing over 600 people across 23 offices in India. They went from catering to local Pune calculator repair needs to having a massive presence in nearly 50 countries across the globe. Export turnover became a completely vital part of their total business.
Kailash Katkar's journey absolutely proves that formal education and initial financial constraints, they are not the ultimate deciders of your success. Persistence, adaptability, and the sheer willingness to learn from your own books are what really matter. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. Katkar saw the software boom coming, he upskilled in the evenings, and he executed a massive, game-changing pivot. So what looming market need is your business ignoring today? And what pivot do you need to start planning for right now?